Buddy, this is my little lecture demo on how to do my Johnny Be Good tab. I watched that video from Jontom in Italy, and I was like, okay, I couldn't do that if you held a gun to my head. But instead, I thought, okay, what can I bring out of this? And this is kind of a mixture of Jontom's Johnny Be Good. It's also a little mixture of Marty McFly's Johnny Be Good that I can hear in my head sometimes. So it's a mixture. All right, so here we go. We start off on the first set. Now, see, I put it into sets of 4. Okay, there are 4 groups of tab here to make it easy to keep track of. All right, so in the very first group, we're just going to have our third fingers. We're going to have our middle fingers on the 3rd frets of the E and A string, and we're going to play that 4 times. All right, so that's the first set. And then the second set, we play one more strum on this one. Then we take everything off. Then we reach into the 2 middle strings, the C and the E string, and hit those. And then we come off for the open again. Now those 2 sets of tab are one phrase, okay? Well, they're one phrase that we're going to repeat 3 times. But let's go over that one phrase one more time. There it is. Da, 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 da. Okay? But there it is. So there's the first time. 2 sets of tab. Now the next 2 sets of tab. They're identical to it. Now we go down to the second line. Another set of this. Now it gets different. We're going to take our G7 on the second line, 3rd set of tabs, 3rd set of 4. We're going to make a G7, slide it all the way up to the 7th fret so that our 2 bottom fingers here, our middle finger and our ring finger, are on the 7th fret. And that's going to take us up, and we're going to, well, you'll hear it. It goes like this. Okay? This is such a valuable little move. This G7 slid up to the 7th fret. You hear this in rock and roll all the time. Now, I've been doing it for a while, so, but you'll get it. You'll get it. It just takes practice. All right, so let me play the first 2 lines of the tab. Here we go. All right, that's the first 2 lines of the tab. Now we're going to take a D7 shape at the 2nd fret, a D7 bar, and we're going to slide that up to the 5th fret. I'm going to be barring the 5th fret, and then I'm going to do this cute little, slide, go down, back up, down, back up, down, back up 3 times, and it's going to sound like this. Am I going too far? Let's see. Okay, so that's the 3rd line of tab on the D7 shape. All right, now we're going to go back up. We're going to start up here on our 7th fret with that G7 shape, and we're going to go down. But first we're going to play it 8 times just because it sounds so good. Then we're going to follow it back down until we get back to our back to our starting shape on the 3rd fret. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we start to go down. Let me do it again. Okay, I'm strumming too many times on that last one just because it feels good. All right. Okay, now the 4th. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next line, which is the 5th line of the tab, we're gonna make a G7, but we're going to use our pinky to tap on the C string at the 4th fret. Okay, this little rock and roll move here. It's going to sound like this. Okay? So that's doing the G7. Now we go to an F, and we do the same thing with our 3rd finger on the F chord. Then finally we do it on a C7 chord. We just have C7 by itself, but then we're going to reach over here and do the same thing on the 3rd and 2nd frets of the G and C strings. All right, so let me show you all 3 of those. So we're here on G7. Then we go to F. Then we go to C7. Then we do open. Now we're going to take. It's as if we're going to sneak a G7 up. Imagine a G7 living up here above the nut, and we're going to slide into it. We're going to take our G7 shape. We're going to slide into it. First, we're going to do open. Then we do the bottom 2 fingers of the G7. Then we come up, make the whole G7, and then we finish it with 2 strum. So it's going to be like this. Ah. One more time. All right, and then it repeats. Okay? I'm going to do the whole thing now. Not completely up to speed, but not too far from it either. It doesn't have to be fast. This is, it doesn't have to be blindingly fast. We are not all, let's see, ukulele gods from Italy, whose names start with J. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here we go. No, I'm playing it. See, I don't play it that way anymore. Then I throw this little fancy thing in on the 3rd one, but that's okay. You don't have to have that just yet. Okay, starting over again. Then the D7 shape. And then back up to the G7. Now the G7 down here with the pinky tap. Now the F with the 3rd finger tap. And the C7 tap. And now sneaking the G7 over the nut. Ah. Okay? One more time, the whole thing. Because it's such a thing of beauty. Yeah, I'm not especially humble here, but that's okay. Here we go. Nope. Now see there, instead of using my 2 middle fingers, I just grabbed it with my index finger because it was easier to get. Okay? There again, whatever works. Then we go to the G7. No, that's the 3rd fret. We want the 4th fret. Then the F. And then finally the C7. That's all she wrote.